guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of Phoenix Wright's Attorney, Justice for All. In the last episode, we finished off the investigation and got a new little ally, Pearl Faye. She's adorable. And we learned a little something about Mia. She's hiding something. She's got Cyclops. She's hiding something, but we can't figure it out yet as we're going into the trial with Von Karma's successor, his kid. I hope you guys enjoyed the cover that I posted on Saturday. I just made that cover on a whim, and I was like, you know what? I'm really proud of this. I'm gonna post it. So yeah, let me know if you want more covers to be posted, because I'm totally up for doing that. Now, without any further ado, let's get going. Let me adjust the volume. June 21st, 9:48 a.m., District Court Defendant Lobby Number 1. What? Prosecutor Von Karma? You mean... No, I heard it's successor this time. Successor? Manfred Von Karma. He was a really sinister man. He pulled all sorts of nasty tricks, all so he could win. He was a man obsessed with the word perfection. He had a perfect record for 40 long years. Who knows what sorts of dirty tricks he used to get each one of those guilty verdicts. And now, his successor. I wonder what kind of person that will turn out to be. It's no good. Pearly! You showed up! Thanks for coming all this way! I was really worried about you! Hey, where's your mother? Didn't you two come together? Mother's watching over the trainees. She said they have training for 2 days straight with no breaks. Huh? Then you came all by yourself? Yep! I snuck out of the manor and followed a map! Don't tell me you walked all the way here. Of course not! I ran! I can't. Oh my. If it takes 2 hours by train, oh man. Pearly, what about the train? Huh? What's a train? I give up. It's time, isn't it? I'm really scared. What if Von Karma tries to do something to me? At least I know Mr. Edgeworth will be nicer to me than Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth? Who's that? He's Nick's rival and boyfriend. Well, he's also a friend. I still remember him as if I had just seen him only yesterday. Every trial was a scorching, fierce battle until the very end. Jesus, it was always back and forth with them. But when you're rivals for life... Maya! Please don't mention that name ever again. Huh? But why, Nick? I'm sorry, Maya. I forgot you don't know. He's gone. And he's not coming back. What? Wait a second. What's that supposed to mean? Let's go. Now's not the time to talk about that anyway. Nick? Edgy, where are you? June 21st, 10 a.m., District Court Number 2. Court is now in session for the trial of Maya Faye. All the prosecution and defense prepared. Oh. Oh. What is with this girl? Mr. Wright, are you finally prepared? Huh? Yes, Your Honor. Why does he always seem mad at me? Mr. Phoenix Wright. You must be a little shocked because I'm a woman, correct? Hold on, so this kid is the famed prosecutor Von Karma? I am Francisca Von Karma, the prodigy. I see. I gave up a promising career in Germany and came to this country for one sole reason. Revenge. Revenge? Is this about her father, Manfred Von Karma? If it's something of a personal nature, I'm sure you can... Ow! I'm talking. It's just to whip the judge, what? You can't bring that into the courtroom! If you interrupt again, my whip will do the speaking for me. Please speak with your mouth like a normal person. I beg of you. Ow! Make no mistake, I will defeat you. Prepare to go down, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Prosecutor Von Karma, your opening statement, please. Please put away that whip. Those of Von Karma blood have only one fate, and that is perfection. The defendant, Maya Fey, will find no escape from her guilt on my watch. But very well. What is the defense's position? Your Honor? Does the defense wish to enter a plea of not guilty? Yes. Foolish fool who foolishly dreams of foolish dreams. 10 minutes. I give the defense 10 minutes before it changes its plea. That's right. I'll have you running for the justified self-defense plea in no time. Justified self-defense? A plea usually reserved for when a person unintentionally kills in defense of himself. We could very easily make a solid case that it was self-defense, but... The defense stands by the plea of not guilty, Your Honor. Because to plead justified self-defense is to say you did kill someone. How foolish. If that's how you want to play it, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then I shall now call the first witness. She's just as scary as her father, like daughter, I suppose. Witness, your name and occupation? Yes, sir. My name is Dick Gumshoe. I'm a defendant down at the local precinct. Ah! Get to the point already. Explain to the court the details of this murder. Yes, sir. If everyone would please look at the map. The channel and chamber had no windows and the door was locked shut. At the time of the murder, only the victim and the defendant were in the room. What were they doing in there? They were channeling a spirit, sir. Channeling a spirit? The look of disbelief on the judge's face is... Anyway, a few moments after the channeling started, gunshots were heard coming from inside the room, sir. A few of the witnesses broke the door down and rushed into the room. Oh, and that's when they found that the victim was already dead, correct? I believe this is one of the most open and short cases I have ever presided over. Oh, may not be as open as shut as you think, I'm sorry. And so how was the victim killed? I was just about to get to that. Stop wasting my time, then. The direct cause of death was a pistol shot to the forehead, sir. The shot was fired from point-blank range. Before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. The murderer used the pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Do we not have an autopsy yet? Are you kidding me? Please give us the autopsy now. So the victim was stabbed before being shot. Thank you. This is the victim's autopsy report, sir. Let me check. Okay, after being stabbed in the chest, he was shot with the... God damn it. There's gotta be something else. Whatever. Do I just press? Darn, okay. The direct cause of death was a pistol shot to the forehead, sir. Press. The murder weapon, Detective Gumshoe. Whose pistol was it? It was the victim's. The victim? Now, why would he have a pistol? Who cares? The point that you are missing is whose fingerprints are on that pistol. If you're not already paying attention to that, then I suggest you start. Fingerprints? There were fingerprints? Along with the victims. The defendant, Maya Face, were also on the grip, sir. Great. So the defendant's fingerprints were left on the murder weapon? I walked right into her hands there. Point blank, huh? So about how far away was it? It was anywhere between 12 to 20 inches away. And how do you know he was shot at point blank? Mr. Phoenix Wright, I grow tired of the foolish foolery of the foolish fools of this foolish country. Excuse me? Gunpowder burn. Gunpowder burn? When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Gunpowder exploding is what makes a bullet fire, and that gets real hot, pal. And there were definitely some gunpowder burns left on the victim's forehead. Wow, never knew that. Live and learn, I guess. How was he a lawyer? Stabbed. And what was he stabbed with? A knife. A fruit knife. Oh, I see. And whose knife was it? It looks like it belonged to the face, sir. And of course, my face fingerprints are all over it. All over it, huh? This does not look good. What will you do now, Mr. Phoenix Wright? How severe was the wound? If it had been half an inch more to the right, it would have hit the victim's heart. After a stab like that, it's impossible to fight back, let alone stand. This testimony makes Maya look she had stabbed him with the intent to kill. Are you sure he was stabbed first, then shot? Yep, sure as could be. One look at the wounds and you come to the same conclusion too, pal. A fool is a fool who will only listen to the foolish opinions of the other foolish fools. A pistol shot to the forehead at point blank is certainly enough to kill instantly. Does it matter then which was first? Think a little more before you open that big mouth of yours, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Ugh, what a pain. That's enough. We have clearly established how the victim was murdered. I brought the 2 murder weapons with me today. Very well. The court accepts them into evidence. The date and time of death was June 19th at 3:15 p.m. Eyewitnesses claim to have heard 2 gunshots at this time. And 2 murder weapons, both with the defendant's fingerprints on them? This does seem like an open and shut case. Naturally. This is going from bad to worse. As if the summary just now wasn't oversimplifying things to the extreme. Your Honor, feel free to slam that little gavel of yours. After all, there is no room left for doubt, is there? That is quite true, Mr. Wright. Yes? Even in the face of all this, do you still wish to plead not guilty? It's the opinion of this court that if you do not adjust your plea, you stand to lose. See, just as I promised, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You would change your plea in less than 10 minutes. What will you do, Mr. Wright? Will you change to justified self-defense? Because now would be the time to do so. This is your final chance. This is a huge decision. I better think this through all the way. Not guilty. If we plead justified self-defense, we would basically be confessing to a murder. After the trial, Maya's life would be destroyed, and she'd be labeled a murderer. I can't let that happen. Your Honor, have you reached a conclusion, Mr. Wright? The defense will not change its plea. We will accept nothing short of a complete acquittal. You have sealed your fate, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Detective! Yes, sir? Present the final portion of your testimony, the final strike. Yes, sir. Now, see here, proceedings are run by... Yes, of course. Go ahead, Detective, give me your testimony. I think the court would like to hear about the other piece of incriminating evidence. This bitch is not allowed to have a whip inside the courtroom. Sorry, pal, but there's an even more incriminating piece of evidence. This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. As you can see, it's covered in blood. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. So this is the costume. There certainly is evidence of a backstory of blood on this. This piece directly links Maya Fey to the crime, sir. Oh, I see. The court accepts this into evidence. Maya's costume added to the court record. Alright, Mr. Wright. Maya's fingerprints on both the murder weapons and blood spatters on her clothes. Could this situation get any worse? Huh, what's wrong? You seem to be at a loss. I think this is the last piece of testimony the prosecution should have to offer. Feel free to sulk off with your tail between your legs, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Please stop calling me by my full name. It's disturbing. Okay. This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. As you can see, it's covered in blood. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. Ooh. Let's go check the costume. Am I not allowed to check the costume? Hold on. Okay, wait. This blood on the costume. Lab results show that it was the victim's blood. So there was blood from the victim on the defendant's clothes. Definitely not good work. Were there any other clues you could glean from this piece of evidence? Well... If you must change the topic, then the good detective here must testify again. But too bad, not enough time. Time to move on. Oh, yes, Miss Von Karma is perfectly correct. Now even the judge is on her side. But if I bite off more than I can chew here, what should I do? Why is Miss Von Karma suddenly putting up resistance? There must be a reason as to why she suddenly threw out an objection like that. There must be a clue somewhere on this costume. I just have to look harder. Mr. Wright, Miss Von Karma's logic is perfect. There is no way for you to poke a hole in it. Looks like my time is up. So about the costume... There's just one little thing. Your Honor, actually, there is something very wrong with this piece of evidence. What? What are you talking about, pal? Where is this problem you're talking about? I've come this far. There's no turning back now. The problem I have with this piece of evidence is here. I noted that this hole on the sleeve. Interesting thing. It looks like a bullet hole. I'm trying too hard to make this perfect. Okay. I asked the court to please take a look at the sleeve of the costume. The sleeve? There's a tiny hole here. A hole? But that wasn't in the report. Hold on. What's this around the hole? It smells faintly of gunpowder. Gunpowder? No one ever told me. A hole that smells of gunpowder. Looks like I found the hole I was looking for. A literal hole. Your Honor, the only logical conclusion I can make is that it must be a bullet hole. Order! This is a very grave matter. It's best we correct the court record first before anything else. Sorry about that. I guess we messed up, sir. Is she actually smiling? What else is she hiding? Pull yourself together, detective. That tiny hole doesn't change a thing. The strength of the evidence still holds. Continue with your testimony. That just now was a fluke, nothing more. You're gonna call my objection a fluke? How can you say something like that? This is a huge oversight. While I agree it is a mistake on the part of the police, what Prosecutor Von Karma has said is true. The evidence still stands. If you do not find a more definitive problem with the evidence, then... No way! Detective Gumshoe, please continue with your testimony. Yes, sir. Okay, I think now we have the evidence we need. If the victim wasn't fighting back, then why is there a hole? Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes? Having you call me by my full name is kind of a weird feeling. You said that my client killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. Yeah, I did. Then what, may I ask, is this bullet hole you police overlooked supposed to mean? What does it mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means that the victim had fired off a shot. Is this what it means to not fight back? You're right! It would seem that way. If the victim tried to shoot the defendant, then it would change everything. Alright, the wind seems to be shifting. Huh. What is with that "are you finished yet" laugh? Are you finished yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
Miss Von Karma?
It seems that Maya Fey was shot at by the victim. However, that is only grounds enough to support a justified self-defense plea.
That is correct.
But I'm sure you remember, Your Honor, what the defense clearly said. They rejected justified self-defense and pleaded not guilty.
Ah! Now then, Chip. Why, that's right.
Which means the defense has yet to prove anything at all.
No! Well, yes, that's true.
Furthermore, just the fact that there is a bullet hole in the costume is not enough to substantiate even a plea of justified self-defense.
Huh? How so?
Ah! Don't just stand there. Hurry up and tell the court what transpired that day. With the new information we acquired added in, of course.
Huh? You mean by myself? You want me to put together the scenario all by myself? Ah! Yes, sir. Right away, sir. During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. The defendant then picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it. This scenario you've put together does make sense. Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Wright, just by listening, it does make sense. However, I won't give up that easily. But please refrain from glaring at me like that. Now then, your cross-examination, please.
During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. There is quite a difference in height between Dr. Gray and the defendant. Add in body strength, and it seems unlikely the defendant could have stabbed the victim.
Now that you mention it, yeah, I guess.
Fuck off. You think you can get away with such flimsy reasoning, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Maya Fey was in the middle of channeling, was she not? When channeling with the Kurine channeling technique, the medium physically changes. With the nurse's build, the defendant could have easily been a match for the doctor.
I don't believe it. She even studied it up on the Kurine channeling technique.
Like I said before, I am perfect.
About what you were talking about, I didn't quite get it. Never mind, let's continue with the testimony.
So he was stabbed, but the stab wound didn't kill him.
But if you think about the blood loss, it was pretty bad.
How bad would you say it was?
Actually, I went to get blood the other day, and afterward I felt a little lightheaded and dizzy. I guess the damage was maybe about 10 times the dizziness. Ah! Sorry.
Where in the world did that pistol come from?
It looks like the victim, Dr. Gray, had specifically brought it for that day.
But a handgun?
He got it off the black market about 2 days before the murder.
Why did Dr. Gray bring a gun? Was he taking precautions against something?
The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed.
So you're saying that the bullet hole in this costume was made then?
Sorry, pal, but that's what I'd think. The two of them were already fighting when a shot was fired.
Maya, I'm really glad you weren't hurt. Maya has never fired a gun before in her life.
The victim had already taken off the safety. With the safety off, even an amateur like you can fire it by pulling the trigger.
Even me? I wonder. Now, do you understand? Von Karma's logic is perfect. His testimony certainly makes us look very bad. But there's gotta be a contradiction in there somewhere. And uncovering it is gonna uncover the truth. I can feel it. Okay. 2 shots fired. Murder weapon, a small fruit knife, bears 5 fingerprints. Okay, I'm thinking something like the folding screen. Missing the tiny hole in this costume will be the prosecution's undoing.
What do you mean?
This little hole has actually created a huge hole in your testimony.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
You said the two of them were fighting when the victim fired his gun at point blank. If that were true, then where is the gunpowder burn on this costume?
Gunpowder burn?
This is what you testified earlier. When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole.
Oh!
But there's not a single trace of gunpowder burn on this costume.
That is a very good point. No, what exactly does this mean?
It means that when the shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other. I'm disappointed, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You think you can punch a hole in my logic with that? With wishy-washy thinking like that, anyone can explain anything away. Then I implore you to disprove my line of thinking. Let's see. In the middle of their fight, the victim pushed the defendant away. And it was then, when they were separated, that he fired. How was that? As if that was even possible. According to testimony, the wound from the stabbing was very severe. The victim would not have had the strength to push the defendant very far after that. Well, then... That's right. The defendant must have pushed the victim away. After stabbing him, she must have put some space between the doctor and herself. And then, while she was preparing to strike again, the doctor took his shot. There, that should satisfy even you.
That does make awful lot of sense. What do you think, Mr. Wright?
I must be careful. I can't afford to make a mistake here. Concentrate and think. There is a fatal flaw in her argument, Your Honor.
Fatal flaw? Yow!
Very interesting. I would love to see where this flaw is. Show me something that contradicts my explanation. There has to be a snag in her explanation somewhere. She put some distance between them before rushing to make the final blow. And when she was about to strike, the doctor took his shot. There must be a piece of evidence that contradicts this line of thinking. Frick. Folding screen? Man, I don't know. This is the piece of evidence that destroys your logic.
What is that? A folding screen?
I would like to point the court's attention to the hole in the folding screen. It looks like you already know what I'm talking about.
Where? What? Mr. Wright, your explanation, please.
Are these two really that clueless? The bullet went through the defendant's sleeve first, then the folding screen. It passed through at a height of approximately 8 inches off the ground, which means... When the shot was fired, the defendant, was not getting ready to strike, but was actually squatting low to the ground.
Order! This changes everything!
Please look at this diagram of the crime scene. The victim, Dr. Gray, was here when he fired the shot, and the bullet hit this folding screen. It hit at this location, about 8 inches off the ground. At this time, the defendant was in this area. Fuck. At this time, the defendant was like probably like right here. Questions. I don't know. Behind. In front of this hole. She was standing here near the folding screen. But wait a second. We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole. But how can you gauge the distance from that? Isn't it possible that the defendant was standing much closer to the victim? That's impossible. But why? You, of all people, should know the answer to that question, Miss Von Karma. If she were shot from somewhere closer, there would be gunpowder burns present. However, there is nothing of the sort around the bullet hole of this costume. Ugh! Curse you, Mr. Phoenix Wright, you! I believe it has now been proven that the defendant was standing a ways from the victim when she was shot at. But do you think this has changed the defendant's situation? I'm gonna do a bluff. Honestly, Your Honor, this changes everything. The prosecution has claimed the defendant was aiming to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with a knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at the time? Squatting all the way by the folding screen? Exactly. If Maya Fey was the real murderer, why would she be by the folding screen instead of preparing to strike? Upon further consideration, it does make very little sense. Yeah, I figured there had to be a reason. Figuring things out and proving the logic behind everything is your job. Oh. Alright, with this, the rest of the trial should be in the God fucking damn it. Blast radius of disaster! You are such a smart man, Mr. Phoenix Wright. To think that you've been able to take a completely hopeless case to this point. Now I know why Papa had a tough time with you. You amuse me. Of all the things to inherit, why did it have to be that smarmy smile? Detective, how dare you damage my perfect logic? Huh? How was this all my fault? You can start by repairing your standing, but you can start repairing your standing by first removing that 3-strand goatee. Oh, and rest assured, your punishment will come later. Punishment? Well then, Your Honor, I think I've had all I can take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call in the next witness. Next witness? That's gotta be Lotta. Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. After we reconvene, we will hear from the next witness. Woo, I don't like this woman. This woman is giving us a real run for our money. I do not like her, but oh yeah, I'm excited to beat her. I'm so excited to beat her, rub it in her face. All right. I guess that's it for this episode. Roll the end card.
Objection! You haven't hit like and subscribe yet! Hold it! You forgot to ring the bell to get notified whenever I upload! Take that! Click here to watch more of my videos! Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye!